What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NFL DFS video. We are breaking down week 4, which I cannot believe we are already into week 4, but we're breaking down week 4 of the NFL slate. We're going to look at the main slate, and we're going to break it down. So if you've never been to our channel before, maybe go check out what we've done. We do Thursday Night Football showdown breakdowns with lineup builds. We do Sunday Night Football. We do Monday Night Football. We're breaking down main slates. We're building lineups. We're doing it all for you. And if you want to support the channel, just like these videos, subscribe to the channel. A big thing, or a new thing, I guess, is hyping up the videos. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but apparently it helps out. So if you could do that as well, that would be awesome. So again, if you've never been here before, we do try to have a giveaway in this NFL video every single day. On top of that, we do MLB videos. We do 2 giveaways in those videos. But in this video right here, here's how you can win a free, depending on what it is. So we have FTA Plus. It's $10 for a week. It's $30 a month. It's $200 for a year. We do have 2 spots available, though. So if you are interested, you can email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Say you want the yearly special. We're giving it away for $75 instead of $200. You can check that out. We also have a $500 lifetime pass. Now, here's how you can win. All you got to do is like this video. Got to be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, and you got to leave a comment below in this video. You do all 3 of those, and this video right here gets a minimum of 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA Plus. So that is a week of all sports. That is not just NFL. That includes MLB, NASCAR, PGA, MMA, NBA, NFL, obviously NFL. NBA is back in a month, which is wild to think about. If you do all that and this video gets a minimum of 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on the video, a chance at a $500 lifetime pass. You can also go to our MLB content and go check those out when we put those videos out, because you could have 2 more ways to win, just like in this video. Now, last week's video, 448 views, 7 comments, 49 likes. So had we gotten 1 more like, you would have had a 1 in 7 shot. If you like the video, you got to leave a comment to try and win. So that being said, we are going to look at a bunch of things. So under the NFL tab, we've got Vegas odds, simulations, prop bets. Down here, we got a cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is all inclusive. We also have some optimal lineups on there to start your hopefully winning journey out. We've got it there. But we are going to look at our matchup tool. We're going to look at the Vegas odds. We're going to use SaberSim. And we're going to show you what kind of lineups can be built. So I want to break it completely down. In the description of this video, there's going to be an article, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about other ways to win some content from us as well. So buckle up, get ready. If you're new to the channel, pause the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Let's rock and roll. So we're doing this video on Thursday. We've got a couple of injury news and notes that obviously will update throughout the weekend. That'll help us update our projections and simulations through the weekend. But we got some Vegas odds right now. So just kind of looking overall, and I've sorted this, and this is on the website. You can sort it by implied team totals. As of right now, the Bills are they opened up as a 12.5 point favorite with a 46.5 over under. It's now gone up to 48 over under with a minus 15.5. So they are a 15.5 point favorite against the Saints. So obviously, you've got Josh Allen. I think James Cook has a great week this week. Someone's got to score. Why not run it in, either him or Josh Allen? So they're the number 1. Number 2 are the Packers offense against the Cowboys' terrible defense. You got the Lions versus the terrible Browns defense. You got the Rams versus the Colts, which could be a shootout, which is weird to think about with Daniel Jones, but he's really turned the corner there. We've also got the Ravens versus the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a pretty damn good game. I think the Chiefs overall look like they're not the mighty Chiefs that we're used to, but Patrick Mahomes usually steps up in games like this. I think he probably steps up in this game. They go, one team is going to go will be 1-3 after this game. I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs, but we will definitely see. So obviously we have all the other ones we can look at. What I wanted to look at was just like each position and the players that are maybe ruled in or out. Now, Jaden Daniels, I doubt he plays. I think we're going to see Mariota again, who absolutely crushed it for us last week, which was a late addition, and he was a very cheap addition, so we used him. Baker Mayfield has a questionable tag, kind of new. I mean, you see he's played every down there. Limited practice, right bicep injury. I think he's still, obviously a right bicep injury would be detrimental to someone who's a right-hand thrower. Mike Evans is most likely out. Chris Godwin could be starting in this game. I do think that I think Baker Mayfield plays. I think if he plays and Chris Godwin is back, I'm excited for that duo there. Brock Purdy's another one where I just don't know. News will be limited at practice. We don't know. He's got an AC joint in his left shoulder, so it's not his throwing shoulder, so that's definitely one that we can look at there. And you come down, you got Mac Jones. News-wise, limited participant. Obviously, if Purdy is out, Mac Jones would be there. If Mac Jones is out, then we get a little crazy. It gets a little iffy in that. And then we should be good outside of that. We'll talk about some of them, some of the plays that we like, and we'll build throughout there. And what I'm going to tell you is when we get to the SaberSim edition or portion of the video, we're going to make some adjustments with the players we like because I want the Sims to know who we like. We're going to do top 10s at each position. If you want to see the entire ranking system for quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight ends that we have, that'll be in the article that is connected in the description of this video down below. Now, there are going to be 2 ways to win. Like I said, we've already mentioned that minimum of 50 likes, you will get a free week of FTA Plus and all the way up to a free lifetime pass. The second way to win, somewhere in this video, I'll say a keyword or a key phrase, just like our MLB video. Listen for it, type it in, and have a second shot at a free week. Now, we go to running backs. Pretty good. I mean, Hubbard got the questionable tag, down week, limited in practice Thursday. It is a calf injury. Obviously, if he is ruled out, that will bump up some other plays for you. I love some Scattaboo. I thought it was Scatabo, but it's Scattaboo. I love me some Scattaboo this week. There are different players that we're going to talk about when we get to it. Malik Neighbors, questionable. News-wise, limited fashion, probably plays. Jackson Dart coming in, going to be a cheap option there. Evans is most likely out. Devontae Adams, fully expect him to play. Chris Godwin, I think he'll play. McLaren, Ricky Pearsall. Like we see, usually Wednesday, Thursday, we see the questionable tag. Friday, Saturday, questionable tags go away, and they play. Tight ends, just depending. Njoku, questionable, and Isaiah Likely, questionable. Wouldn't really use any of them. So that's kind of just glossing over the injury report there. We are now going to look at our matchup pool. Now, this is how you read the matchup pool. These are the defenses. This is on the website too. These are the defenses. We have 3 weeks worth of data. Obviously, with how long the season is, you would like to see 8 to 9 weeks worth of data to really get a feel for it, but this is what we got. So these are the defenses. These are the stats the defenses have given up to the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Then you've got the rushing allowed and the fantasy points per game. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use the DraftKings because that's what we're building off of. So I usually, the first thing I do each week, I come into here, I sort by DraftKings fantasy points given up. And you can see right now, the Cowboys give up the most amount of fantasy points to the quarterback, 29.1 on DraftKings. The Dolphins give up the second. So you've got the Packers. You've got Jordan Love, number 1. Jets, number 2. So is it going to be Tyrod Taylor? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Let's take a look at who the quarterback for the Jets is. Actually, I don't think Fields has got a questionable tag, does he? Oh, because it's Monday Night Football. Okay, there's 2 terrible Monday Night Football games. This is the main slate. Let's put it that way. The Bears defense, pretty bad. We're looking at the Raiders. So you look at Geno Smith. Baltimore, number 4. We're looking at Patrick Mahomes. And then number 5 has been the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Vikings, which you cannot play because that one is in London, I think, already, which is wild. So then we go down to Detroit Lions against the Browns. I'm not really looking at Joe Flacco there. Got the Giants defense going up against the Chargers. Justin Herbert makes sense. That's kind of how you would read with the quarterbacks. You can go through. You can see all the stats they've already given up through the first 3 weeks of the season. Come through here, score right here, DraftKings points. The Ravens secondary, they give up 38.5 fantasy points per game. They're ranked 32 out of 32 on DraftKings. So we're looking at the Chiefs offense. So we're looking at, I believe Xavier Worthy is back. So Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy, I would bump up them if you're using algorithms. If you got your own rankings, I would bump them up a little. The Bengals defense ranks 31st here, 31.1. So you're looking at the Broncos. So you're looking at Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. You're looking at those guys there, or not Jeudy. You're looking at Cortland Sutton. And then if we look at, let's see. Can't play that because I forgot that is Monday Night Football. So we got the Tennessee Titans with the Texans. So we've got the Texans secondary. So obviously we're looking at Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, probably where I'd go there. But Nico Collins is obviously the number one guy that you would want to target if you're going to stack. So that's kind of how you're going to read this. You're going to go through here and you're going to find the defenses and you're going to find who you want to go through, building your lineup out there. So obviously with the Chargers, you got Keenan Allen, you got Johnston. You've got some plays there. We moved to tight end. Now wide receiver. Sorry, that was running back. Now we're at wide receiver. So looking at the wide receivers. So that was running back. So when you change it up a little bit with the running back, like Chiefs running backs, they're in a good spot, whether or not you want to take Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. It depends on who you go with there. Broncos, you have obviously got Dobbins, and then you've got, let's see. You can't use him there, so you got the Texans. Texans is where it gets a little, like, is it Nick Chubb's? Nick Chubb, I mean, he's, second week, 15.2, he did well. Kind of up and down there. That's kind of something you look at there. So now we move to the wide receiver. So we've sorted this. The Cowboys secondary on average, this is average per game. So these stats right here are cumulative through the entire season, 3 weeks. These are fantasy points per game. The Cowboys defense has given up an average of 50.9 to the wide receivers. So we're looking at 32 out of 32. We're looking at the Packers. Now, the only problem with that is the Packers secondary, not the best, or wide receivers, not the best. They're not on this main slate either. Okay. So then we go number 2. That's the Chargers. So go into this game looking at the Chargers here. Rain, but again, rain shouldn't be a concern. You got Ladd McConkey, you got Keenan Allen, you got Quentin Johnston. I love that as a stack there in this matchup here. Look at Keenan Allen's averaging 18.8, you got Quentin Johnston averaging 18.6, and you got Ladd McConkey averaging 10.4. All are great numbers there. All great. I think you're looking at Justin Herbert and stack 1 or 2 of those and then kind of make different stacks with different plays from that right there. Okay? So then you look at the Bears. They're going up against the Raiders. So we look at this. And honestly, I love Caleb. I love Caleb Williams again. I absolutely love him. I love him this week. I loved him last week against Dallas. I'm going back to the well with this one. I'm going to stack him with Odunze. I'm going to stack him with DJ Moore. I'm still going to go with Odunze more. Odunze, M-O-R-E, not M-O-O-R-E. And then Cole Kmet a little bit. That would be what I do. And then you go DJ Moore, Williams, and maybe you go with Cole Kmet a little bit there. So then if we look at another one, the Raiders, on the flip side of that, the Bears defense ranked 29th, give up 43.3. So this is where we look at like a give back game. So what I mean by that is if you're stacking Caleb Williams and Odunze, you got to come back with someone from the Raiders, like a Jacoby Myers or a Trey Tucker who dominated last week. Those are probably the 2 that I'm looking at with a bring back there. That'll probably be one of my big stacks that I'm looking at. And then if you look at the Vegas odds, you can see implied team totals, and you can see all of that when you build through. So then the Texans against the Titans is the next one. So that is where you're looking at Nico Collins. I don't know if you put CJ Stroud and Nico Collins together, or you just run out Nico Collins naked by himself. I think as bad as CJ Stroud has played recently, I think that might be the play there. Then we've got the final one that we can play here. We've got Jacksonville Jaguars, 49ers. So we're looking at them. There it is. In this one here, Pearsall is questionable. Coming off a great game last week against Arizona. Newsworthy. His knee, I mean, he'll probably play. 16 receptions, 281 yards. No touchdown yet, but he did very, very well for anyone who used him last week. Then we get into tight ends. So looking into the tight ends, and I want to go largest to smallest. Seahawks, Thursday Night Football, Trey McBride, great spot here. Steelers, Vikings, we can't play that one. It's Sunday morning football. You get Miami Dolphins versus the Jets. I don't believe we can play this one either. That's Monday Night Football. Yeah. So then you come down, Cincinnati Bengals. So you're looking at the Broncos. So in theory, you're coming over here. You can't play this one either because that's also Monday night. So this is where you got to go down the list and you got to break it down a little bit. So then we're looking at the Lions. Lions versus the Browns. That would mean Browns tight end, okay? So you come in here, you go Browns, that's Njoku. Is he questionable? Like, for real, is he questionable? News, upgraded full participant, he'll probably play. 12 receptions, 117 yards, he's averaging 7.9. Bannon Jr. Averaging 9.6. Great first week, kind of bounced down and didn't do much the past couple of weeks. If he's in there, he's 3,700. He would be a cheap tight end option. Then you come down to the Packers. Packers versus the Cowboys. But I believe this is Sunday night. This is Sunday night. So we can't play that one. So basically the top 5 or 6, you can't play them. They're in showdowns. But then you get to the Ravens. They give up an average of 15.9. They rank 26 out of 32. We're looking at Travis Kelce there. You could go a little bit of Noah Gray to be a little bit sneaky. You don't necessarily have to, but you could. So that is how we break down the matchup tool a little bit. If you want to see the entire matchup tool in its entirety, definitely go check out everything else out. That's what we've got for you on the website. Go to fantasyteamadvisors.com. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, what I'm looking at is how I'm going to build out lineups here. So, I've already come into SaberSim, and I've thrown these around. Let me pause it real quick. I already ran some simulations, and I ran 5,000 lineups because I wanted to see what it was doing all by itself. So, as you can see, I ran it earlier. 83.6 return on investment is the max return. Medium is minus 16.4, and then minimum is minus 69.8. So it's kind of up there. We haven't touched anything and updated the lineups or updated any, but I wanted to kind of show you that it spit out Caleb Williams and Odunze, which I love already. Spit out Patrick Mahomes, Hollywood Brown, and Travis Kelce, Saquon and David Montgomery, McMillan, who I believe is questionable but probably plays. Jacoby Myers, I love. Patriots defense against Carolina, I'm okay with. And then you got Kyron Williams against Indy, which could be a shootout. So this is where we're going to go through, and we're going to update some of our favorite plays, and we're going to bump those up a little bit. So I think one of, if not my favorite quarterback for the week, is Caleb Williams again. I was all over him last week if you guys watched us, and I enjoyed it. So I'm going to put him at 25, because I want the algorithm to know that I'm going to bump Caleb Williams up, and I want him at the tippy top as fast as humanly possible. So Josh Allen is in a great spot here. I'm going to move him up a little bit. It's not going to be a ton because he's obviously here, but I'm going to put him at 24 and put him in that direction there. But another one that I really love is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is, I don't know what's going on with him, but I love to see it. I'm going to put him at 23 because I want Daniel Jones. I think that game, Colts versus the Rams, could be a shootout there. I want to get exposure to that as well. So then we kind of go through the list, and Jalen Hurts here, I think I'm going to put him at 22.99 because I want him just below Daniel Jones, but he's in a great spot. We saw if they fell behind what they were able to do. Now, if Baker's healthy enough, gets in there, they get up ahead, we can see what Jalen's going to do there. So I've got Jalen Hurts there, 3-0. Got him at 22.9. I want to bump it up a little bit. Now, obviously, it can change a little bit, but we'll see. So you got Lamar. I'm going to put him at 22.75. Okay. So we've got all of these, and that's kind of what we're going through. Now, if you want to see all of the rankings, it'll be in the article that is in the description of this video. We also have an absolutely free Discord in this video as well. And there are other ways for you to get content from FTA Plus. We've got a Fanatics, FanDuel, and a DraftKings Sportsbook link in the description of this video. You click on any of those links as a first-time customer, sign up using our link, deposit a minimum of $20. They're going to match you, I believe. Show us proof. Email us, dfshelp1@gmail.com. We are going to give you 1 month free of FTA Plus for every site you sign up for using our link. So, that being said, we've got Caleb Williams, Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. I love Patrick Mahomes here. I'm going to put him at 22.50. Justin Herbert, I've got him. I'm going to bump him up because I think it could be a great matchup here against the Giants defense. We're going to put him at 21. I don't know why it's going so slow. Going very slow right now. My internet's been just terrible lately. I don't know why. I'm going to put him in there. I think one that I'm going to look at a little bit more closely, I'm going to put Matthew Stafford at 20.75. But I also want to bump up. Why are you going so slow? Okay. Drake May, I'm going to put him at 19. I love that matchup for him against Carolina here. I feel like it is a fantastic matchup for him, and we can go in that direction. So we need one more. Now, if Jaden Daniels was 100% healthy, I would agree that he's in a good spot here. But I don't know if that's the case. So he's going to be down for a little bit. Geno's in a great spot. I think Geno at 18.95 is going to be number 5. So then we move to running backs. I don't think it's going to be... It shouldn't be a big surprise, I guess. So running backs here, Christian McCaffrey, I mean, especially if Brock Purdy is out again, if Persall is out, if Jennings is out, like, he's the go-to guy. I don't see how you go around him. I've got him number 1. Number 2, I've got, and this one is what's crazy, and you guys are going to be like, what's going on? Okay. Not necessarily number 2, but James Cook, I'm going to put him at 25. He's going to be number 2. I've got Bijan at 23. It just depends on what we're going to get. It's Kirk Cousins probably. I mean, Penix looked terrible last week. We'll see. But one that might be interesting, in this same game, I've got Justin Herbert, but I've also got Omarion Hampton, especially with Najee Harris exploding his Achilles and being out. Now, that being said, some interesting plays that I want to bump up here that I think we're going to see a lot about is Cam Skattebo. Now, I thought his name was Skattebo. It is Skattebo, as mentioned before. But I've got him in there. He's at 15. I've got to get him at 8. I want to bump him up there. I want his pricing to reflect that he's now a starter. He's under 6K. I want to get him in there. Actually, I'll put him 19 because I want to put Saquon here at 21. Now again, you guys can update this because obviously whenever you watch this video, some news and notes might have already dropped where player X, Y, and Z, they're all ruled out for this game. So then they're gone. So I'm going to do that. Jonathan Taylor is good. You got Cam Skattebo. You got Kyron Williams, which I'm fine with. Another one that maybe we bump up a little bit. Maybe. I think we're good. I think I like that there. We've finagled with ones that I wanted at the beginning. So let me move to wide receivers. I've got Puka at number 1. I'm going to put him at 25. His usage is absolutely just crazy right now. You've got Emeka, who's dominating this year. I'm going to put Nico Collins, though, first here. I'm going to put Nico Collins. I'm going to bump him up to 24 because he is the go-to guy in Houston. Shouldn't be a surprise. I don't think it's a surprise. I do want to bump up Rome Odunze, though. I'm going to put him, I think I'm going to put Rome at 23. I want him number 3 for me. It's getting a little crazy. I think Drake London has a bounce-back game against Washington in their secondary. Kind of let us down a little bit this year, but I'm going to bump him up to 22 fantasy points. We got Emeka there's fine. A.J. Brown's one of those where, are they going to keep feeding him? Or are they not? What are they doing? That's what scares me a little bit. But if we're going off of just the matchup tool and we're looking Packers, Chargers, so we need the Chargers to bump up here. So that's where you come here with wide receivers. Come here, give Ladd. I'm going to bump Ladd up to 16. I'm going to bump Keenan Allen to 16. And I'm going to bump Quentin Johnson to like 13. I want to get a little bit bump up, but not a ton because, he is their third option. And again, anything can happen. Third options are not necessarily the worst, but it's just, that's what we've got. So get rid of the filter on that one. Bump it up a little bit. I like what we see. We'll mess with anything if we need to later on. So tight ends, this is where I go into tight ends. We talked about it. The first few you can't do anything with. Travis Kelce is that number 1 on this slate here, which I don't mind. So I'm looking at Travis Kelce about 17. I think if we do look into this a little bit more and we're looking, that's the one that I'm changing a little bit. Brock Bowers is obviously there with the Bears. I'm going to put Brock Bowers. I'm going to bump him up to 16. Sam Laporta is in a good spot that I don't mind him, especially if it becomes a shootout or Detroit goes up huge. So that is definitely one you can look at to bump him up. So he's at 12.2 right now. I'll probably put him at 15 and go there. And then defenses, it really just depends. The Falcons defense against the Commanders. You got Minnesota against there. You got there. You got there. Patriots defense makes a ton of sense. I'm going to bump them up to 10. And again, you don't always have to pay up for defense. It's usually you don't want to pay up for defense. So I'm going to pause this video while it runs these lineups. It's going to take a minute. So it'll be 1 second for you, but it could be 10 minutes for me. Okay. So it's ran some, and you can definitely see when you fill it out to 5,000 lineups, you can see that it really likes what we put into the table, which I love. So you got Caleb Williams, the number one that popped up right now. Caleb Williams throwing it to Rome Odunze, which I absolutely love, like I said. David Montgomery's there. You got Bucky Irving, who I could see get a bump if, in fact, Baker's like not 100% healthy in his throwing arm, and they got to hand the ball off a ton. Bucky Irving is definitely in there. You got Nico Collins, who I absolutely love this week, like I said earlier, for wide receiver. Juwan Jennings got that questionable tag, so we're kind of wait to see what he's doing. Jacoby Myers, like I said, I think he could be a sneaky option here. Bucks defense against Philly, I don't think I like that much. So there are some tweaks that you need to do. So if we were to just go like sort it by Josh Allen and how Josh Allen, they've got it. You can see they've put him with Keon Coleman, which did not work out for us last week. Josh Allen's one of those where he has so many different directions he can throw it to, but he can also run it and hand it off. That Josh Allen doesn't always necessarily need to be like handcuffed to somebody. He can run two of them in. He can have a couple of touchdown passes and just dominate for you. So I don't mind him by himself. You got Omarion Hampton that I love. You got Kyron Williams in a game that I think could go back and forth. You got Keon Coleman, which, You got Debo. You got DJ Moore. You got Travis Kelce. Isaiah Likely, which I don't know if he plays, but if he does, maybe we put him in there a little bit. And then you got the Texans defense against Tennessee, which I don't mind that either. So that's a lineup with Josh Allen. Other quarterbacks that we talked about that I wanted to look at and build a lineup around is like a Geno Smith against Chicago, where we are all over Chicago. If the game is what we think it's going to be and there's going to bump it and it's going to dominate, you're going to need Geno in there. And they've tagged him with Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, which I don't mind whatsoever. Got Drake London, which I think has a bounce back week this week. Nico Collins. Ramondre Stevenson is one that I might, he fumbled twice last week and lost it. I don't see them going back to the well with him. He just can't hold on to the ball right now. So then you got Travion Henderson that could come in and see what he can bring to the table. So there's always things to tweak, obviously, but I wanted to give you guys like our top fives and stuff. If you want to see all of the rankings, that's in the article, which you can find at fantasyteamadvisor.com, but it's also linked down below. It's going to have all the quarterbacks. It's going to have like 100 running backs, wide receivers, and like 60 something tight ends, all ranked for this week. It is PPR because it is in the format of DraftKings. But again, you guys can use all of this information on FanDuel, on Yahoo if you play. They're all there for you, but bringing something to the table. So then if we come down, like you can change it up a little bit. If you come through here and you want max exposure for all, I've got 30. But if you want more, so here's the thing, change the exposures. So if you want more quarterbacks in there, because through 5,000 they only did 8, you can change this for the quarterbacks. I'm going to put the quarterbacks at 15. I'm going to save it. I'm going to pause the video and rerun it. Okay, so I ran them, and it loves Caleb Williams yet again. Put it with him, Odunze. Got Lions defense against Cleveland, which has worked. Whatever defense we've taken has worked against Cleveland pretty much all year. You got Scattaboo there. You got Drake London. You got Jacoby Myers, Sam Laporta, James Cook. I love that. That is actually a really good lineup. I love that lineup. You can obviously change things up with team stacks, game stacks, however you want to go about it. Definitely different ways to sign up. I don't have a referral link to SaberSim, but if you use a simulator, SaberSim's awesome. If you use your own, hopefully this information is able to help you. So then if we go through and you want to look at maybe like a Daniel Jones quarterback, you've got him with Josh Downs. You got Patriots defense against Carolina, DeAndre Swift, Malik Neighbors, Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving. Like, there are different ways to go about it. You got Daniel Jones with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Quentin Johnston. Change it up a little bit. And then one have we not talked about yet, Matthew Stafford, in a game that I think is going to be a shootout. You got Matt Stafford pretty much throwing it to Puka. And then Kamara, you've got Saquon Barkley, you got Hunter Renfrow, Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers, Roma Dunze, and Titans defense. CJ Stroud has been off, so I don't mind that one either. And then a final lineup we'll look at real quick. And again, if you want to see even more, we have so much more over at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Make sure you check it out. Last one, Patrick Mahomes. He's let us down. I understand. So if you click into him, and before we go, the keyword of the day is whiskey. I'm in the market for a new whiskey. I don't want to spend $200. I would like to spend less than $100 on a bottle, preferably. But I'm very curious. Give me a whiskey you guys think I should try. Old fashions or mix it with something. Or whiskey or bourbon, I should say. Pretty much, I like old fashions. So if something, you'd mix it in there. Or just on ice by itself, it's up to you. So then you kind of look at, percentage of the sims. You have 14% of the time, you got 20 fantasy points. 0% of the times, yeah. 1% of the time, you got 40 plus. 1% of the time, 40. So you look at him. You've got him with Xavier Worthy, who is back this week. So he should be back this week with the shoulder. He should be good there. That'll take away some of the coverage from Travis Kelce. So maybe he can throw it to Travis Kelce. The ones I'm removing are probably Ramondre Stevenson. Now he could have had a huge game on Sunday, but he fumbled it twice. I was actually playing against him in my season-long league. I won by 50, and that's because I had Minnesota defense who gave me 38 or 42 by itself. But I probably remove Ramondre. So this is where you do a simulation and you tweak it a while. So Mahomes, and maybe we bump up Travis Kelce. Maybe we bump up somebody else and get him in there with him. So that's another one lineup that you could look at there. And then if we come through here, I don't really want Trevor Lawrence. I don't want Mac Jones. I don't want Michael Penix. You could go Rattler. So what did Rattler do last week? I feel like he didn't do much, right? 12.7. He didn't do much. He had 218 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I don't trust him. Yeah, I'm off of Rattler. Now again, and any of them can have a good game. I get that, but I don't trust that whatsoever. And then that's it down there. So another one we didn't really do is like a Drake May. Drake May, and we used him. We were on Drake May last week. Didn't have a huge, didn't have the biggest game as we thought, but he still put up 20 plus in a matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But his matchup this week is not the best against Carolina. So if you look against Carolina, using the matchup tool against the quarterback, and this is why it's a great tool. Who are we looking for? Carolina. They are actually number 1 against the quarterback. They're only giving up an average of 11.2. Against the running back, they are 18th. Wide receivers, they are really good. 3, they give up 22.3. So their defense is pretty good. Tight end wise, they are ranked 24th, give up 15.4. So Drake May, again, he's done great things the last 2 weeks. Maybe Drake May is out. So that's kind of where the matchup tool comes into play. Completely usable tool for whatever website, FanDuel or DraftKings, that you are on, and you can build it through there. So that's what I have for the main slate for the 4th week of the NFL season. These are some of the lines that are some of the stats people ask. So we do different segments with baseball. We're going to do different segments with football. This is going to be our Make and Bacon segment for NFL bets. So these are some of the lines that I think you should look at. Now, depending on when you watch this video, these lines may have already changed. But Jaylen Warren over 23.5 receiving yards, I think that's too low. I think we go 25 plus there. So if you can find that line still at over 23.5, I think we look there. TJ Hawkinson, and I'm going to put all of these in the Discord. We have a free Discord. It's in the link. I'm going to put these there so you can go check them out. TJ Hawkinson over 34.5 receiving yards. I think he gets 40 plus here is what I'm looking at. Daniel Jones over 208.5 passing yards. I think he's easily could go for 225 plus there, if not 250. So I think we're looking at there. And then Omarion Hampton over 57.5 rushing yards. I think that's low. I think you get 60 plus here. So if you can find these lines, depending on when you watch this video, make sure you get those bets in there. If you want to see even more, they're going to be in the description, or they're going to be in the Discord, which you can find a link in the description right now. So let's have a fantastic week 4. Good luck. Be on the lookout for our Sunday Night Football breakdown, where we build lineups as well, using statistics and our matchup tool and Vegas odds. And then Monday Night Football. I know there are 2 games on Monday night. I don't know. I'm curious if there's one that, I don't even know if it'll be on DraftKings yet, but like one that is the featured one. Let's see. Okay, so the featured one is Cincy at Denver. So that is the one we'll break down. I mean, that's not the best game. Like, this Monday night's kind of trash. But we'll break that game down. We'll also break down so we'll break down Monday Night Football, Cincinnati versus Denver. And I say that because the Jets and the Miami Dolphins are there, but the featured one means there's more money to be made. So that is the one we will feature this week in week 4. So have a fantastic week 4. Good luck sports betting, DFS, whatever you're doing. Go check out all of our other content. Make sure you go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Good luck, and as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.